Internet, this is Lord Mad Dog, and we are playing From the Depths. Today I'm coming at you with a new build. We are going to go ahead and try to take on Ashes of the Empire with the same limitations that we've had in all the other campaigns. So, let's jump right on in. This time we are building a tank. And right here, this is basically, I'm trying to get the basic size of what I want my tank to be able to hold for a cannon wise, because there's only allowed 2,000 volume in the campaign, this campaign. So this is not the weapon I'm going to be using, obviously, but I'm using it as a base to figure out, it's a bit relative cannon size that I think I can actually fit with inside one of these things. Now, I also warn you that this is absolutely the first time I've ever tried to build a tank. Tanks came along after my time when I was originally playing From the Depths. So I did not realize off the bat that, it tells you on wheels that you only are allowed 20 wheels. That's not true. I figured that out after a bit, that you can continuously add wheels and your vehicle gets faster and can turn faster. I don't know why it tells you can only have 20 wheels, but it's not true. So, yeah, which is really nice. Actually, I was kind of worried about only having 20 wheels. I'm like, I can't get this thing to go anywhere or hold any weight. Well, how do you do any more than this? Wheels are deceitful. Alright, so right now I'm just building this looks like the front end, but it ends up being my back end, which is fine. This is basically just a workout of the way things are gonna look. And yeah, it's just simple. The simple matching of the blocks, the right and left, kind of make the smooth sheen thing like we did for the boat, just not quite as complicated. And we're just going to etch out the basic shape, complete in total here. Get everything just the way we want it. Now, this is just a really, really rough of the boat, the shape. It actually ends up not being the full shape because then this is not enough size. See, I don't know. I didn't know exactly how much 2,000 volume would be, so I started out making my ship really, really small. Trying to make sure that 2,000 volume wouldn't be wouldn't build over big and then not have enough room for a weapon that I need later on. Because I've kind of done that for the other things. So here I'm going to try to use two really small engines to power this thing. Which, don't actually end up using. Because, they're too small. They're not going to provide enough power that I need later on. For like shields and stuff. They're only 100 power each. And in fact, this is just a really efficient engine. Because you can get 100 power on an engine just by throwing a turbo overcharge on one. So that's a really big engine for 100 power. It's not good. I'm going to just skip forward and where I just stop messing with this a bit. I'm still just messing with the engine a little bit, the insert internals, trying to make it all work out. Just look at the back here and that stuff. You can jump a little bit farther forward. I also place right here I'm placing my fuel and my ammo processors, and I also place some ammo up front. It's a bad place for the ammo. It ends up being a really, really bad place for the ammo. So I have to change things. So I'm going to, like I said, jump a good bit forward. Here I'm working on creating my control system on the inside of my ship like I always do, so I can jump in and out. And there we are. We now have a moving vehicle. Cheerio. Right there, if you look at the wheels, it'll tell you you're not allowed over 20, and that, like I said, not true. But yeah, this is more or less the kind of shape that I end up going with. And I'm going to add to the sides to make some wheel hubs. These things here later on will hold my control thrusters, because I'm gonna make this into a hover. I make all my stuff into hovers. Well, actually, after realizing the tank wheel stuff, I don't really think I would have to do the whole tank wheel hover thing, but I think I'm gonna go with the hover because I just like the hover. The whole idea of the hover is just about. I mean, we are in the future with this, and why run around on the ground? We don't have to run around on the ground, and I'm going to utilize it as long as I can because they're talking about removing it. And a lot of people think we should. The ability to just fly with ease. Once again, I don't agree with that, but that's just my opinion. I mean, I think that somebody who's already created reactionless thrusters, which, if you know anything about science, is absolutely and totally impossible, of course, according to what we know. I mean, there is the EM drive, but it's been proven to kind of not work. I mean, NASA's been testing it forever, and they've got conflicting results. So if they have reactionless drives, they have repulsors like they did. The Iron Man has like repulsors, and I can totally see them being able to make almost anything fly. That's just my opinion. Technology, but I can also other people are like, well, the other builds are not viable. Well, that's not quite true. I've seen ships that are very viable. I mean, there's people build giant tanks. Here's my first test, and you see the front end of my ship gets blown off because I have all the ammo in my front of my ship. Yeah, it did not work at all. So we've got to do a rethink. But it does. I mean, it's kind of the basic shape of what I was wanting to go for. Now I just took out the turret. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw another turret in there. But I actually don't show the building of the front end of the turret, but front end of the ship. The front end of the ship ends up being built by taking four-piece, one level down slabs, and I just keep on doing that all the way down. So it creates a front end that reaches to the ground. That'll make it very resistant to being hit by most guns once it's metal. Right now it's wood, it doesn't matter a dang thing, it just goes straight through it. But it'll help. I'll show you it, and then I'll explain a little bit more, because direct hitting slabs, the directions actually help a lot. We're bouncing off weapons and different things, non-penetrating. And here I decided to go ahead and wipe out that engine that I installed earlier, and we're going to install a bigger engine in the back after I make the back. So I think this is more or less all I really have of the building process, because like I said, it was the first time I ever built a tank, and things were not going the way I really wanted them to, especially because I have to build with wood, and that's just not going to go anywhere. So we're going to go ahead now and jump right on into the finished product. I'll be right there. So this is more or less it. This is Tanky. That's what I named it. It needs a better name, I know. But yeah, this is how it ends up looking. I'm gonna have basically the back. These little arm pieces will have house my thrusters for forward and sidewards, backwards movement. The cannon is a giant cram cannon. I struggled with this one because you do actually begin with an advanced cannon from the ashes. You have it on the Tremor. I think they give you the Tremor. I think that's the name of the vehicle, and it has an advanced cannon. I could go with simple lasers, simple weapons, which is really powerful. Really powerful. I could really pack some powerful, simple weapons on this thing for the size of this cannon. But that's too easy. And advanced cannons, I think I could make a very powerful advanced cannon, especially for this type of combat. Everyone's made, in the very beginning, everyone's all made out of wood. And cram cannons cost the most resources. Not only that, they take up the most volume. So I figured, to be fair, for me, cram cannons are the hardest, the most useless weapon. That's just my opinion. So I figured we'll start at the absolute hardest level and then build up. So I'll get advanced cannons and metal and armor. So it's basically the same thing. So here is the front where I originally had the engine stake put. Now it is just an open area for once I have armor, it'll be spaced armor. Really help with space armor. Okay, and these are, I now have my repair bots and everything in, but once I have more volume from getting rid of the cram cannon, 'cause the cram cannon has 100% volume taking. I mean, it is dramatic for volume. A cram cannon is very big and very high in resource cost. So I will then, that will enable me to finish my turret well, because I don't have the volume right now. And up here was where I originally stored my ammo. Now, right now I'm storing my ammo in obscure little strange places, because there is no place to put ammo when you have wood. And you put ammo in one, all in one conjunction, you're gonna be blowing your ship to pieces in one shot. So we have to have metal before I can actually build a proper ammo houser. And up here is my control unit with my engine, which is down in here. It's just this efficient box. It does not actually have any any exhaust, and I deal with that by having a really big radiator. So it's able to go ahead and work even without that. And I don't really need all the engine power I have right now. I will eventually switch it out, change it up to be something else. And under here I have lead to stop me from flipping over when I shoot this massive cram cannon. So here you'll see that it is a decent amount of recoil from this thing. And if I don't watch it, I can actually, if I didn't have that lead on the bottom, I would actually flip. So yeah, that is Tanky. Let's go ahead and go run through the paces. Let's go with some regular Sidewinder, Copperhead, Desert Boa. Let's see if I can take them all on at one time. I don't think so though, because I'm made out of wood. Here we go. Shoot, dang it. Oh, okay, here, just boom. And come on, shoot. Ooh, I got that guy there. Hit him good. Oh, and yes, I'm very happy that I have a decent amount of speed. I found out I could have a little bit more speed than what I thought I originally could have. Ooh, I got hit by that guy's cram cannon. Now that was dumb. But we did do a decent amount of damage, as you see. It's a pretty good, ends up being a pretty good setup. And their AI dead because this is all massive area heat explosion, which really is good for me if I want to capture later on. For some reason I just stopped being able to move. I guess got stuck on something. And that's a good thing about having a heavy duty cannon. You can keep, no, I guess not. Well, you can also use a heavy duty cannon to move you by going, oh wait, there's a little Sidewinder left. If you turn around backwards, you can use it as thrust forward to get you moving again. And I wanted to capture that, but I couldn't capture it because I got stuck. But yeah, once I have metal, I won't have all that problem. That's the one big problem without a wood. I noticed that every time you take damage, if you lose a piece, it falls underneath your trajectories, that you get stuck on it. Really, really annoying. Boom. So yeah, Tanky actually turned out to be pretty good. It does have the problem of the recoil also sometimes bouncing you back and damaging yourself, like it just happened there. My own ship bounced into the ground. But once again, once I have metal, I will not be bouncing around because the weight will be a lot higher. So let's go with the Land Marauder and see what that's like. I haven't fought any of these things. I don't know any of their. Ooh, wow, that thing's humongous. Also, I have it, so this whole thing is, when it spawns in, is turned to the side. So it's not actually straightforward. So what that does is it allows me to start going to the side when I spawn in. Well, if everything works the way I want it to. So that way I'm not pointing directly at the enemy and I don't have to spend the time to turn sideways and during that time get blasted by a whole bunch of bullets and ammunition. And right there, that problem with losing a few pieces and getting stuck on top of them, that's what's going on here. I'm losing my entire side pieces and I'm not going to be able to move, and when I'm not able to move I take massive damage. But also, this is made out of wood. Even the simple weapons are really tearing me to shreds. Ah, I'm not sure what happened there. We just took massive damage, and well, that was that. But I do believe the Tanky will be capable of fighting at least the first 4 battles, and by that time we should, well, we will have metal. I mean, everything here uses metal to a little, at least a tiny bit, so that makes things good to know. But those simple weapons are just tearing me to shreds. Stop jumping, bouncing. Ah, oh well, it's over. And I do believe that's the end of this showcase. It's not a very great showcase because it is a starting vehicle. And I just threw myself against one of the, I think, the heavier enemies in this campaign. I'm not entirely sure because I have never done Ashes of the Empire. Well, actually, yes, I have played the beginning of Ashes of the Empire before, and what I ended up doing with this is actually I want to see if that thing still works. I don't know if it does. Right there, fully repaired. Because this is a very, very short episode because it's just a very simple tank. It's nothing that great. And I wonder if I have the other thing still around. Then I'm going to show you my previous build when I played Ashes of the Empire. It's kind of, okay, let's be honest, it's really cheap. And I'll show you it here in a sec. I'll be right back. So this was the old build I built one time when I came back. It wasn't very long that I came back from the depths. I just came back for a bit and I noticed that they had a new campaign, and I started the from Ashes from the Empire, and I actually quickly went through the entire campaign. Really easy. And I didn't use a tank ever once. I used hovercraft from the very beginning and whatnot. So this here is a power brick with resource holding. Now this power brick powered both of these things here. This is the well, it's called the beam, but it's actually a giant particle cannon. It's a giant stick particle cannon. So if we spawn in a, let's see, a copperhead here, and yes, there's a copperhead, and we'll turn to aim at it. No, that's right. I don't have this set up anymore for that. Okay, I was trying to remember how exactly it was set up. This was supposed to be not player controlled. This was all AI controlled, so it would actually bend itself and aim at it. I just remember. All right, there's the other one. That is the laser, a continuous laser. That is the one I mainly use because the particle cannon ended up being not quite as effective. It just couldn't move fast enough to be able to do that. But this here is the stick, or also called the beam sometimes too. And as you will see here, let's go ahead and spawn in some random enemy. Where is it at? There. And it's just one giant continuous. It's designed to go really high into the air and be way out of range and not be able to be hit at all by anything in the campaign. It really could not be hit. As if this is the one. I have so many versions of these, I wasn't sure which is which, but here. And it just uses the, oh wow, that really, well, but this is back before they nerfed lasers. Oh no, it still killed it. But yes, actually, I was looking at this. There's a lot of inefficiencies that I could fix in it. But you can see that it has, if I set this thing really high into the sky, there we go, and just spawn in an enemy. Let's see, the biggest one, Tremor, which I think is the biggest. Here we go. Let's destroy the little sidewinders. Oh wow, they really have nerfed the laser. Before, that would instantly destroy that. And there goes that. And it's a good thing they actually nerfed lasers, because it was a really, really powerful setup. Oh no, this is the self-powered one. This isn't the really powerful one. I'll be right back. Give me a sec. I gotta get the one that's not self-powered. So here I finally found I think I finally found the right one. It spawned in with its own power brick intact, and yes, this is definitely it. This is this is the beam. It is one long, insanely crazy laser that is powered by something else entirely. I mean, and it's got all. Here we go. Oh, it's underneath me. Spawned in right underneath me, so I have to back up some. So I'm not in range there yet. And the power brick flies off into itself into the space and heavens, and you would start outside of the range of your enemy. Like I could start 3K back with this thing, and I just quickly did the whole thing with this, like this. After I got enough resources to build it, I ain't good at that, and that's the reason why I decided to add the limitations to myself, because there is just so many ways that you can, if you know what you're doing, you can build that will instantly kill anything in this game. I could make an advanced cannon like this that was practically a supernova, which Sakari has done. Sakari has made super weapon cannons. He showed me a clip yesterday that was just downright awesome. And this thing is flying the wrong direction because it's set backwards, and the AI does not realize it's set backwards. Stupid AI. Yes, all of its thrusters and everything are pointed, and it is designed to fly backwards. Yeah. 2 damaged. So if you know what you're doing, you can just build massive weapons like this. That's why I add them in limitations on my system, so I can't just do instant hit kill weapons like such. Though by the end of the game, we'll probably end up something along this line, like we did with the Obliterator. We won't do this because I didn't personally build this for this setup, and this one's actually really old. It doesn't have any of the new stuff that comes along with lasers that they have now. Now they have the 3-meter loading system, which is really powerful. I mean, the three, adding the storage crystals and everything. So I would actually be able to make a charged laser that would shoot straight through this instead of slowly drilling straight through it. There we go. And that is the end of this Tremor ship. And I could do this basically with any weapon because it's impossible for them to actually hit me at 2K away with any weapon. But like I said, the laser, it makes the laser seem really OP, but it's not just the laser. I could do this with an advanced cannon, especially now that all the things I've learned with an advanced cannon. I could set up an advanced cannon with a railgun and an 8-meter autoloader. It wouldn't even have to be a railgun. It would help to be a railgun at this distance for sure, but railguns are not all that great in this game, sadly. So it'd probably be more effective than this laser, because if I powered it off of it, I'd take a advanced meter, make a railgun the size of this beam with the barrel that would turn, so I would have just enough. I'd have a lot more playroom than, well, the laser's got a lot more, so it's not worth talking about. And then you just shoot maybe heavy duty explosives with proximity would probably do a lot better. So probably about 3 or 4 rail assist and have all that energy, the rail, so it'd be flying about pretty close to almost 1,000 meters per second, and as it got close, and with an 8-meter autoloader and heavy explosives, I think it'd be doing close to 20k damage a shot. So when it get hit, shields wouldn't even affect the thing. I don't know. That's just off of my head. The way I would try to build it, I probably would go different later. I'd probably put some disruptors and actually go hollow point at that point instead. But basically, any weapon like this, you could build something like this, even at 2K volume. So if you know what you're doing, it doesn't, limitations really don't matter all that much. So I have hoped you have enjoyed this little showcase of the Tanky and the beam, the stick weapon that I have here. Lord Mad Dog, signing off.